The Americas were teeming with life long before Columbus. Vast landscapes, from the Amazon to the Arctic, were home to millions. They were not a blank slate. Instead, they were shaped by hands both skilled and visionary. Instead, they were a tapestry woven from countless cultures, each with its own language, art, and science. These civilizations were not passive inhabitants of the land. They engineered their environments, creating wonders that still inspire awe. They were architects of their world. The Maya built cities aligned with the stars, while the Inca connected their empire with roads spanning thousands of miles. For centuries, a myth persisted. It clouded the true history of these lands. It claimed that the Americas were an empty wilderness before European arrival. But evidence tells a different story. This myth served a purpose. It erased the achievements of entire civilizations. It justified conquest and exploitation. But the truth is far richer, but this myth couldn't be further from the truth. The legacy of these civilizations endures in every corner of the Americas. Across the continents, from the Mississippi River to the Andes Mountains, great civilizations rose. The Mississippians built earthen pyramids rivaling those of Egypt. They left behind a legacy of innovation and ingenuity. The Maya developed a complex calendar and written language. The Inca mastered surgery and brain trepanation. These are the stories of the forgotten architects of the Americas. Their achievements echo through time, waiting to be rediscovered. From astronomy to agriculture, from art to engineering, their brilliance shaped a continent. And their legacy lives on in the people and landscapes of the Americas today. Along the Mississippi River, a great city arose. Its name was Cahokia. At its peak, Cahokia was larger than London or Paris at the same time. It was once home to tens of thousands of people. They were the Mississippians. Their city was the largest urban center north of Mexico before European contact. The Mississippians were masters of urban planning and engineering. Their city was carefully organized, with neighborhoods, plazas, and ceremonial spaces. Their city was a testament to their skill. They built more than 120 earthen mounds, each with a unique purpose, some for ceremonies, others for burials or elite residences. At the heart of Cahokia stood Monk's Mound. This massive platform mound rises over 100 feet high and covers more than 14 acres. It is the largest earthen mound in North America. The mound was built in stages, growing larger with each generation. This massive structure required millions of baskets of earth to build. Archaeologists estimate it took over 30 years to complete. This was not just a feat of labor. It was a triumph of social organization. Thousands of workers coordinated their efforts, guided by skilled leaders and engineers. The Mississippians developed a complex society. They had a powerful ruling class, religious leaders, and skilled artisans. Their city was a hub of trade. Goods like copper, shells, and obsidian traveled hundreds of miles to reach Cahokia's markets. Daily life in Cahokia was vibrant. Families lived in wooden homes, farmed the rich floodplains, and gathered for festivals in the Grand Plaza. The Mississippians were also artists. They crafted beautiful pottery, carved stone and bone tools, and created intricate jewelry. Their society valued ceremony and ritual. Dancers, musicians, and priests played key roles in community life. The Mississippians understood the stars. They built their city in alignment with celestial bodies. Their mounds served as observatories. Cahokia's woodhenge, a circle of wooden posts, was used to track the sun's movements and mark the seasons. They tracked the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. This knowledge helped them predict seasons and grow crops. The Mississippians were expert farmers. They cultivated maize, squash, and beans, supporting a large and healthy population. Their achievements echo through time. Today, Cahokia stands as a reminder of the ingenuity and resilience of its forgotten architects. High in the Andes Mountains, the Muisca people thrived for centuries, shaping the land and culture of what is now Colombia. Their civilization flourished between the 6th and 16th centuries, long before the arrival of the Spanish. The Muisca were renowned for their mastery of gold, creating some of the most exquisite pre-Columbian gold work ever discovered. But their story is about much more than just treasure. The Muisca's gold was not used as currency, but for religious offerings and ceremonies, reflecting their deep spiritual beliefs. They were skilled farmers, astronomers, and traders. Their society was organized into powerful chiefdoms, each led by a cacique or chief. The Muisca built a civilization in one of the most challenging environments on Earth, adapting ingeniously to the high-altitude terrain. The Muisca created intricate goldwork, including the famous golden raft, which depicts the El Dorado ritual where the chief covered himself in gold dust and offered treasures to the gods in Lake Guatavita. They adorned themselves and their temples with these precious objects. Their gold became legendary, inspiring countless expeditions by European explorers. The myth of El Dorado, the city of gold, was born from Muisca traditions and rituals, captivating imaginations for generations. The Muisca were also keen astronomers, carefully observing the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. They developed a sophisticated lunar calendar, dividing the year into months based on the phases of the moon. This calendar helped them track the seasons, plan agricultural activities, and schedule important festivals. Their farming methods were ingenious, using raised fields and crop rotation to maximize yields. They built terraces and irrigation systems, transforming steep mountainsides into fertile farmland. This allowed them to cultivate crops like maize, potatoes, and quinoa on the steep slopes of the Andes, supporting large populations. The Muisca traded with neighboring tribes, exchanging goods and knowledge across vast distances. Salt, which they mined from the mountains, was so valuable it was called white gold. Their trade network stretched from the Caribbean coast to the Amazon basin, bringing them exotic goods like emeralds, cotton, and tropical fruits. The Muisca governed themselves through councils and assemblies, with laws and customs that promoted cooperation and peace among their people. Their legacy lives on in the traditions, stories, and descendants of the Colombian Andes, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Muisca civilization. Deep in the cloud forests of Peru lived the Chachapoya people. Their name means warriors of the clouds, a fitting title for a civilization that thrived in the misty highlands. The Chachapoya were renowned for their vibrant textiles, weaving intricate patterns that reflected their connection to the land and sky. They carved their homes into the sides of cliffs, creating entire villages perched above dizzying drops. Narrow stairways and hidden paths connected these settlements, making them difficult for invaders to reach. Their most famous stronghold, Kuelap, was a fortress that seemed to touch the sky. Built atop a mountain ridge, it was often shrouded in clouds, adding to its mystique. The Chachapoya adapted ingeniously to their environment. They built agricultural terraces and sophisticated irrigation systems to make the most of the steep, rainy terrain. Kuelap's walls were made of massive stone blocks, some weighing several tons. The fortress also featured decorative friezes with geometric patterns, showcasing their artistic flair. The city in the clouds was protected by walls up to 20 meters high, enclosing more than 400 buildings, including ceremonial structures and watchtowers. The Chachapoya were master stonemasons, fitting stones together without mortar. Their buildings have withstood centuries of rain and earthquakes. Archaeologists continue to uncover new sites, revealing the extent of Chachapoya ingenuity and their unique approach to architecture. They built circular houses that blended seamlessly with the landscape, using local materials to insulate against the damp mountain air. The Chachapoya buried their dead in cliff tombs and sarcophagi, placing them high above the valleys to be closer to the heavens. These tombs were often decorated with intricate carvings and paintings, featuring animals, spirits, and symbols of the afterlife. The Chachapoya's ingenuity allowed them to thrive in a challenging and unforgiving environment. Their descendants still celebrate ancient festivals, keeping the spirit of the cloud warriors alive. Surrounded by rare plants and wildlife, the Chachapoya developed a deep respect for nature, which is reflected in their art and daily life. Their legacy endures in the cloud forests, where history and mystery still linger. These civilizations were not simply primitive, they were innovators, they were city builders, they were environmental engineers. Their achievements echo through time, shaping the world in ways we often overlook. The Mississippians, for example, constructed Cahokia, a city larger than London in its prime, with complex mounds and a population in the tens of thousands. The Muisca developed advanced goldworking techniques, inspiring the legend of El Dorado. The Chachapoya, known as the Warriors of the Clouds, built cliffside tombs and fortresses that still baffle modern engineers. These societies mapped the stars, tracked the seasons, and created intricate calendars that rival those of ancient Egypt. They lived in harmony with nature and the cosmos, developing sustainable agricultural systems like terracing and chinampas, floating gardens that fed entire cities. They left behind a rich legacy of knowledge and culture. The Mayas' mathematical concepts, including the concept of zero, influenced global mathematics. The Incas' quipu, a system of knotted chords, was an early form of data recording. Why are their stories so often ignored? Colonialism played a role. It sought to erase or diminish the achievements of indigenous peoples, labeling their wonders as primitive and their knowledge as superstition. The wonders of these civilizations were dismissed as primitive. Their history was rewritten by the victors, their languages suppressed, and their sacred sites destroyed or built over. Yet their influence persists. Many modern crops, maize, potatoes, tomatoes, and cacao, were first cultivated by pre-Columbian peoples, transforming global cuisine. The concept of urban planning, seen in the grid layouts of ancient cities like Teotihuacan and Tenochtitlan, inspired later city designs across the Americas. But the past is not lost. Descendants of these civilizations keep their traditions alive, passing down stories, crafts, and languages through generations. They are reclaiming their history. Indigenous communities are reviving ancient ceremonies, restoring sacred sites, and teaching their children the wisdom of their ancestors. They are reminding the world that their ancestors were not passive inhabitants of the land. They were architects of their world, engineers, astronomers, artists, and philosophers. The stories of the Mississippians, the Muisca, and the Chachapoya teach us a valuable lesson. True civilization is not about dominance over nature, but about living in harmony with it. Their agricultural innovations, such as the domestication of hundreds of potato varieties in the Andes, continue to feed millions today. Their medicinal knowledge, drawn from the rainforest, is still being studied by scientists. It is about understanding our place in the cosmos. Ancient observatories like those at Chichen Itza and Machu Picchu reveal a deep connection to the stars and the cycles of the earth. It is about recognizing the ingenuity and resilience of all people. Despite centuries of oppression, indigenous communities are leading efforts to preserve biodiversity, protect sacred lands, and share their knowledge with the world. These are lessons we must carry with us into the future. The legacy of pre-Columbian civilizations is not just a story of the past, it is a living heritage, shaping our present and inspiring our future.